If you want to know the best XP farming spots from early to endgame, you are in the right place. I've created more than 20 farming guides including weekly tests and covered all of the major farming methods at this point. And today, it is time to determine the absolute king among the 8 major methods in the game that gives you the most amount of artifacts per hour, with live results and on-point calculation. At the end of this guide, you will learn how to progress your characters in the fastest time possible and truly be overpowered. One of the best farming methods as early as Chapter 1 is the Abyss Artifact stealing method in Stone. This method made it onto the list for a strong reason, so you can't simply ignore this farm. The stealing method remains one of the ideal ways of farming Abyss Artifacts because each of your characters can only get 100 Abyss Artifacts by filling that yellow bar on the side of your minimap. Players can increase that yellow bar by killing the enemies and get XP in return. And the more Abyss Artifacts you gain this way, the slower you get over time. Take this as a normal leveling progression in other games, like 1 Abyss Artifacts is equal to 1 level. To put it simply, if you max out all of your characters, stealing and dispatch missions are your best choice to farm artifacts. As mentioned previously, as early as Chapter 1, you can head to Stone and take advantage of this farm. The Abyss Nexus on the screen right now will be our main reset point for this method. Another tip that I have for you is make sure to start your runs from 12 PM to 5 PM to maximize the number of scholars around the area. To make your stealing attempts more efficient, a 100% double item stealing chance is highly suggested. You can do this by equipping multiple Ledger main Abyss gears so you can steal 2 items per attempt and get Abyss Artifacts nearly 100% of the time. If you are a new player, you can just disregard having multiple Ledger mains and start farming by just having a bandit mask. Starting from the Abyss Nexus, go on horseback and start scanning all of the scholars around the said checkpoint. You can easily do this by using your blinding light while on horseback to scan and go around the area. And there we go, our first Abyss Artifacts near the monument area. Dismount and prepare to steal the artifact. Bump into the scholar and notice that we just stole 2 items at a time because of the optimized stealing build. This farm has a specific farming route, so follow exactly where my character goes in the area. This route explores the main areas of Stone like the first one in here, the monument area, where I will circle while scanning for Abyss Artifacts. After exploring the monument area, access the stone staircases that can lead you to the main fountain area, and then circle the zone in a clockwise motion. Heading to the main bridge this time, where there are usually a lot of scholars hanging about. The next set of stone staircases will lead you to the main entrance of the institute to scan even more scholars. Taking a sharp left turn will lead you to the main classroom, and pay attention to how I am navigating this specific area between the stone tables, forming this zigzag route to cover as many bodies as I can. Alrighty, we found our second Abyss Artifact for this run. So dismount and snag the Abyss Artifact by bumping into the scholar and do the pickpocketing. I will be showing how I disengage from the crime scene this time since it forced me to leave the institute. We are done exploring the main classroom on the west side of the institute, and we are back at the main entrance of the area after escaping the crime scene. And a quick scan for the surrounding would be ideal. Head your way on the right hand side this time and access the hallway that will lead us to the mess hall area of the institute. Follow carefully where I started my route in the mess hall area, following a zigzag route like the previous one, so I can cover all sides. After covering the first side of the area, I will then cover the middle part of the tables. I will then take a sharp right turn in here to reach the storage area near the mess hall and scan even more scholars. Once the storage area is done, exit the area and head to your left so we can scan the last batch of scholars in the mess hall. Fast travel back to where you started to rinse and repeat. Each run usually takes 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and I usually get 0 to 3 Abyss Artifacts per run. Expect varying results since RNG is at play here, as you can totally see. In an hour of consistent farming with no pause in between, I'm averaging 13 to 16 Abyss Artifacts per hour across multiple test runs. I don't have the live recordings yet in this method, but I promise you the next one will have them. Another example that I have for you here is my recent 3 godly drops made in a single run. Just look at the timestamps as proof, solidifying that this method is 100% viable, especially if you do have a good RNG. But what if stealing is not for you and you want a much more traditional way of farming Abyss Artifacts? Then the next method is for you. The Flame Knight's castle spot is hands down one of the best spots in mid to late game. This method will allow you to farm a huge density of Flame Knights located in a concentrated area. You can unlock this quest by progressing the House Azerian faction quest in the region of Demenes. You can unlock the House Azerian faction quest by simply completing the chapter 8 section of the main story. Progressing this quest will lead you to the Flame Knight's castle located near the huge letter D of the Demenes landmark. Make sure to activate the key Abyss Nexus for this run so we can reset the method later on. Lower the enemy percentage to 0 and Tristan the Flame Knight will appear. Defeat this boss and get his belongings to clear the quest. Once you've cleared the quest, wait for the system to reblockade the Flame Knight's castle so you can start farming. If you value your time, I would highly suggest starting any XP farming methods on this list when you already have unlocked the Frost Element and the Shattering Frost Abyss gear. You will be unlocking these upgrades in Chapter 4 onwards. Unlocking the Frost Element will allow your characters to perform the Frost Mantle ability. This ability can one-shot the surrounding enemies by freezing them to death regardless of how high the enemy HP is. Since this gear increases the Frost Mantle's range by a wide radius and also triggers another burst of ice explosions. This makes your Frost Mantle ability hits even more targets and clear farming sessions way faster. I will be using my near level 0 or fresh characters, which are Unka and Damien, in all of the tests on this list. So I will be getting the accurate artifacts gains per hour. Don't forget to set your difficulty to easy as well for a much faster run cycles. Starting from the Abyss Nexus, gain height with Damien and use your aerial maneuvers to breach the castle walls. Land on the other side of the castle and immediately cast your Frost Mantle attacks and hit as many enemies as you can. The key here is continuous casting of the Frost Mantles with short intervals in between, so enemies can stagger you with their normal attacks. Try your best to avoid the exploding bombs that the knights are throwing at you because they can stagger you as well. Keep casting your Frost Mantle ability until the area is cleared. That is basically how you run this area. But the key here is paying close attention to my highlighted section in here. If you explore way further outside of the said section, you will be attracting more unnecessary guards that will stop you from resetting the method. Here's a very neat trick that I will show you. Once all of the enemies are dead and you lost the enemy aggro, open your menu and check the details of any nearby location. In this example, I will be checking the details of the Hazen farm. Spend 3 to 4 seconds in the menu, then exit the character menu screen. And there you go, all enemies have already respawned, so you can continue farming. And yes, my dear viewer, this trick works anywhere. Checking the information of locations that are 200 meters away from you while the map is open serves as a reset method. I discovered this trick accidentally during a live stream when patch 1.9 rolled out. So always remember that you saw this trick first on this channel. But keep in mind that this trick has a drawback. Each reset will retain all of the item drops of enemies as you can see. If items piles up, your game will crash. So I suggest fast traveling back to Abyss Nexus to clear all of the item drops every 10 to 20 minutes. But let's say the reset method is patched. It's not really a big deal since you can just fast travel back to our key Abyss Nexus to reset all of the mobs in this area. Each run takes around 1 minute and 19 seconds to reset, and a 30-minute optimized run will give you 18 Abyss Artifacts. Fast forwarding to 60 minutes and you will be expecting 30 Abyss Artifacts per hour. You will be getting fewer Abyss Artifacts if you are resetting the method with fast travels, but the difference is not really terrible. It will take you deep in the game before you can unlock this spot, so if you are looking for a much earlier and a better spot, you might want to check the next one. And if you are getting value so far, subscribe to the channel. Liking the video and engaging in the comments helps me more than you can imagine. Or consider supporting us on Patreon or by becoming a channel member today, and I appreciate your support. And yes, my dear viewer, the Serpent Shrine Gunner is a much superior choice compared to the previous spot. A spot that you can access as early as Chapter 1, that is if you don't care about run optimizations. Because if you can remember, I suggest farming XP manually when you are past Chapter 4. This method will allow the player to farm distracted gunners placed on an ideal farming route. Not only you will be getting a great amount of Abyss Artifacts per hour, but you will also be getting a lot of pan-fried vegetables. A high level of food that I still use even at Endgame. Find the actual location of the spot by heading to the Serpent Shrine located in the southwestern region of Delicia, near the Dew Haven territory. Make sure to activate the key Abyss Nexus for this run, and if you want to retain this farm, make sure to not progress the quest in this area. And the actual method is pretty simple. From the Abyss Nexus, head on to the location of the gunners just ahead of us, and start freezing the enemies starting from the left flank of the group, all the way to the right flank. You can easily wipe all of the enemies in this area since they are all already lined up in an ideal position, forming a shooting line formation. Once the majority of the enemies are dead, clean up any remaining enemies with your Shattering Frost strikes. Then access your menu, hover around the Forsaken Wyvern's Nest location, and check its details. Wait 3 to 4 seconds and exit the menu to reset the key enemies in this method. If the reset method has been patched, just fast travel back to the key Abyss Nexus without any kind of hassle. Each run takes 44 seconds, and a 30-minute run can give you 16 to 19 Abyss Artifacts depending on how efficient you are. This gives you an insane 29 to 30 Abyss Artifacts per hour when using a fresh character. For those people who are saying that I am just making these numbers in my guides, here's the actual proof. And if that is not enough, I have linked my hourly test made in a live stream in the description. But if you find this farm repetitive and you prefer a much more dynamic method, the next method might be for you. The Dew Haven Keep farming method is one of the best XP spots in mid to late game, a method that will allow you to farm a ton of night enemies inside the castle keep of Dew Haven. But the banger here is that the commotion that you will cause inside the castle will alert the Dew Haven officials, and they will send their best soldiers to hunt you. This special team has this sturdy captain, an elite enemy that can give you a massive 1 whole XP bar on each kill. Find the said keep in the southwestern region of Delicia, near the region where the Serpent Shrine is. Make sure to activate the key Abyss Nexus located outside of the castle before farming. Start the actual method by heading to the Dew Haven Keep near the Abyss Nexus. What I usually do here is a series of aerial maneuvers and play with the Axiom 4 so I can access the upper section of the castle's ramparts. You will notice right away that there are soldiers lined up for practice session, but our main targets here are the ones located on the other side of the ramparts. Engage the targets and make sure you are equipped with a bandit mask to commit crimes in this area. Start by clearing all of the possible knights located in the upper section of the castle. Once the upper section of the castle is done, head to the knights practicing the sword tactics in the castle grounds. Drop your frost mantle attacks and easily clear all of the enemies in the castle grounds. Once all of the soldiers in the courtyard are dead, head to the castle tunnel and aggro all of the enemies inside it. Clear them like usual with your frost mantle attacks like walk in the park. Exit the tunnel and clear all of the enemies in this area with our usual strategy. And make sure a significant number of enemies are taken out in every frost attack. Head to the main entrance of the castle and to your left, score a few more knights lurking in the area. Exit the castle and here's the fun part. If you follow the route accurately, the Delician Elite Guard or soldiers are already waiting for you outside. So clear all of the elite soldiers including the mech ones, preferably with fully charged lightning attacks. But the star of the show here is the captain as mentioned. The captain is the one equipped with a sword and shield and has the red scarf or a band around his body. Let me highlight the captain for you and pay attention how much XP this guy provides us. That is 1 whole XP bar. After clearing the first pack of the elite team, here comes the RNG part. There's a possibility that a second wave of elite soldiers will spawn in the area. This instance can go on, and I have experienced 6 consecutive captain spawns during my livestream test. This gives you the chance to farm multiple captains and boost your hourly gains big time. But on the other hand, if no captain respawn takes place, lose your wanted status and fast travel back to the Abyss Nexus to reset the run, rinse and repeat. And this way, you do have a 100% chance of spawning at least 1 captain on each run. Each run in the castle takes 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and you are expecting 17 to 19 Abyss Artifacts every 30 minutes. An optimized hourly run can give you as much as 30 to 31 Abyss Artifacts. While if you do have a good RNG and spawn multiple captains on each run, you are set for more gains per hour. If you find this method effective, The next method can even give you more Abyss Artifacts per hour. The City of Tommaso is a better version of the previous method. It offers high-level endgame soldiers stationed in the main city. But just like in the previous spot, the captain of the elite guards of Tashkalp can give you an insane amount of XP. Find the City of Tommaso below the Tashkalp landmark in the Crimson Desert, and make sure to activate the Abyss Nexus being shown on the screen right now, since it is going to be our main starting point. Starting the actual method from the Abyss Nexus mentioned. Glide your way to the nearest fighting ring, located just below your location. Make sure to equip a bandit mask and start attacking any soldier you can find to start the actual farming session. Make sure to position yourself inside the fighting ring so all of the soldiers around will be funneled into a tight space, so your AoE attacks can cover a lot of enemies. Once all of the initial enemies are dead inside the ring, call your horse as we will be moving to the next key farming spot. Follow me through the main streets of Tommaso while skipping all of the possible enemies for now. Near the outskirts of the town lies another fighting ring that you can take advantage of, so dismount your horse and head inside the said fighting ring. Then do our usual AoE attack combination to clear all of the enemies in this area. Once the second fighting ring is clear, head back to the location of the first fighting ring. And I am showing you the actual run back to the spot so you can set your direction straight. Once you arrive in the original fighting ring where you started your session, notice that all of the soldiers are respawned again for you to farm. And this is the cycle. You can alternate farming the soldiers on each 2 fighting rings as long as you want to, without any loading times required. But the greatest banger in here is when the elite guards of Tashkalp spawn, spawning with their giant lizards. Your attention should always be focused on the captain of the elite guards, and killing this enemy can give you a 1 whole XP bar, which is insane. Just like in the previous spot, you can spawn the captain consecutively, which can go up to 4 spawns back to back, at least in my experience. And if you notice that the captain stops spawning, just fast travel back to our key Abyss Nexus for this run to reset the RNG. Clearing 2 fighting rings results 1 cycle, and each cycle takes around 3 minutes and 20 seconds to complete. During my 30 minutes of live testing, I got 19 Abyss Artifacts in total. A whole 60-minute run on the other hand gave me 30 Abyss Artifacts per hour. This is with absolute poor RNG, so expect around 33 to 35 Abyss Artifacts per hour if you manage to spawn the captain more frequently. But what if I told you that this spot is nothing compared to the next one? Things will go spicier from here as we are going through the absolute best farming methods in the game. Taking the top 3 spotlight is the insane Disruptor farming. This spot will allow the user to wipe out mech soldiers around the key area. These humanoid mech soldiers are weaker compared to the usual mechs around Delicia, giving the player the chance to wipe these soldiers in 2 to 3 EMP strikes. You can access Marnie's outpost in the northeastern section of Delicia in the region of Gorthak. Make sure to activate the key Abyss Nexus for this spot for resetting purposes later on. The region of Delicia will be the center of the main story in chapter 10, and this is the time that Marnie's outpost will be infested with mech soldiers. The general farming build is pretty straightforward. You only need 100% skill XP bonus to gain the highest XP per kill. And of course, you need either 4 to 5 regular Disruptors or the enhanced version to do this farm. Make sure that your inventory does not contain other packs, so you can cycle with your Disruptors in seconds when using them in your weapon wheel. I am using my fresh Unka for this test so you can see how crazy this spot is. Starting from the Abyss Nexus, Unka will fly and boost to reach the key area. Then I will try my best to land on the old generator-like mechanism in the center of the outpost. Once landed, immediately cast 1 Disruptor EMP by selecting it in your weapon wheel. Then do the same step again by switching to another Disruptor. Then cast the 3rd EMP, then follow up with the 4th. The 4th EMP blast is enough to take down all of the surrounding mech soldiers, so your character can lose enemy aggro. Once you lose enemy aggro, access your menu, head to your map, and open the details of the Delicia West Gate. Once the game shows the Delicia West Gate menu, close it out and return to your character. And yes indeed, this will reset all of the mobs in this area, so you can cast 2 blasts of EMP strikes and clear the area again, and the cycle continues. Word of advice and reminder before we continue: if you are going to spam my signature reset method, always make sure to fast travel back to the Nexus to clear up all of the item drops in the area, so you can avoid crashing your game. But let's say the reset method has been patched. Use your jetpack to fly and land on the rusted mechanism. Immediately cast 3 EMP strikes to clear the initial targets around the outpost. Jump and hover with your jetpack, then land near the entrance of the outpost on your left-hand side. Once you land, cast an EMP strike. 2 to 3 EMP strikes usually takes out every target in this area. Once you can teleport, fast travel back to our key Abyss Nexus to reset the run. Rinse and repeat. Are you ready to know how much you can earn in this spot? Each run takes a lightning fast 25 to 27 seconds. During my 30-minute live testing, I got an insane 47 Abyss Artifacts. And yes, you heard that right. And with an hour of consistent farming, expect a whopping 64 Abyss Artifacts. Keep in mind that this is not even the best farming method on this list. And if you want to reach the level 100 cap in the fastest time possible, the next method can easily do this for you. Taking the top 2 spotlight and bearing the second best Abyss Artifact farming method title is the Dragon Hunter farming. And yes indeed, my dear viewer, it's not actually the best overall. And I do have a strong reasoning why, and I will dive into this in the next method. The Dragon Hunter farming will allow players to hunt Dragon Hunters that can spawn in major fortresses. The hunters only spawns to hunt Blackstar, and killing a hunter can give you an absurd amount of XP. We are talking about an insane 2 to 3 Abyss Artifacts gains after killing each pack. What's crazy about this is that these Dragon Hunters have an insane spawn rate, meaning you will be getting a lot of Abyss Artifacts like candies and max out your characters in minutes. Just look at the XP rate. Nothing in all of the methods can match that XP gain. The most ideal spot to hunt Dragon Hunters is the Isvato Fortress near the city of Tomaso, and this fortress needs to be reblockaded before you can spawn the key enemies. You only need 100% skill XP bonus to even get more XP in the process, and Narima's Horn to skip Blackstar's cooldown. For this test, I am using my fresh Unka to demonstrate how crazy this spot is. The setup would be attacking the enemies in Isvato Fortress and positioning yourself in the highlighted section here. This is the ideal spot, or what I call the hot zone, to respawn the Dragon Hunters consecutively. The Dragon Hunters will respawn and will fire homing bullets at you. Kill each pack with fire breath and watch your XP go crazy. The key here is to make sure that every last one of the hunters is dead, so you can trigger the next batch instantly. Try your best to stay in the hot zone and spawn the key enemies in a wide open space so you can easily take them out in the quickest time possible. Are you ready to know how many Abyss Artifacts you can get here per hour? Well, in just 15 minutes of good runs, I managed to get a whopping 41 Abyss Artifacts. So expect a mind-blowing 100 Abyss Artifacts in a 45 to 55 minute run, meaning reaching the cap like it's nothing. If you don't find this broken, I don't know what is. I firmly believe that the best overall Abyss Artifacts farming method in the game is hands down the Time-Worn Ruins dispatch mission. With the right use of time skip method, you can expect an unlimited amount of 20 to 60 Abyss Artifacts per hour. Samurai, are you kidding me, my dudes? How the hell does the 20 to 60 Abyss Artifacts gains of the Time-Worn Ruins beat the 100 Abyss Artifacts gains per hour of the Dragon Hunters method? Calm down, my dear viewer. I have a good explanation for you. Remember that each of your characters can only get 100 Abyss Artifacts max, right? So if you only rely on your dragon and max all of your characters, the maximum you can get is 300 artifacts in total. This is more than enough for most players, but I know a lot of you love to max out a lot of equipment and love to stockpile even more than 300, or to prepare for the upcoming DLC, for example. So like for example, all of your characters are max. You are forced to resort to the stealing method and other means such as the Time-Worn Ruins dispatch. The Time-Worn Ruins dispatch can give you an unlimited amount of 20 to 60 Abyss Artifacts per hour without any kind of limits, and can be your main source of artifacts way past the Dragon method. Of course, you need to unlock the Time-Worn Ruins first, located in the southern section of Crimson Desert. Liberate the area and repel the Knight of Fortune and you are set. What I usually do here is send my dispatch on Time-Worn Ruins and 9 mecha workers or regular worker perhaps to run the mission. So the same thing applies to Bordig Ruins. This will reward me with Abyss Artifacts and gold bars every 3 and 4 in-game days passively. The time skip method in the region of Demonis is the key factor of making this farm effective. When the Time-Worn Ruins and Bordig Ruins dispatch is ongoing, I will then head to the circus in Demonis and I will skip the time to 9:30 PM. There's a bed nearby in the tents that you can sleep for 12 hours, which will then allow me to wake up around 9 a.m. So I can use the circus time skip again and again until the boarding and Time Run Ruins missions end and stay on repeat since there are no losses in camp materials. The boarding and Time Run Ruins missions cost a total of 22k weapons, 34k stone, 34k timber, 48k food, and 60k copper. To battle the maintenance costs, follow the specific dispatch setup on the screen right now. This setup only requires 18 mecha workers and 35 gray mains to make this work. If you follow the exact setup, you will be getting 45k weapons, 36k stone, 54k timber, and 78k food every 3 days, which is more than enough to maintain the cost of boarding and Time Run Ruins combined. Copper is not an issue in any sense since you can just donate directly to your camp and have millions in minutes. You will be getting a lot of Abyss artifacts and gold bars in this way indefinitely. And if you want to know how to create mecha workers in the most efficient way possible, this video will guide you on everything you need to know. And with that, I am the Samurai. Thank you for watching and I will catch you on the next one.